Okay, welcome back to Confessions of a Magical Mom. We have been MIA a little bit lately. The weather's been beautiful and we've just been enjoying our time outside, and we realized that we have not been recording like we should be. However, let me shift the camera a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. However, that should be changing. We're going to do a quick vlog with you guys today, and then we're actually going to be taking a little road trip this week as a family that we're going to vlog for you guys. Yeah. So kind of keep look for that in the next week or so. But today we're going to talk about the thing that is on every Disney fan's mind, and that is, when is Disney World going to open? I think we're making positive steps in the right direction. I work for Disney World, but I think they are making steps in the right direction.
I think so.
We still don't have an official date, but we do know that Shanghai Disney opened last week, I think it
was last week.
And we know kind of what they're requiring people to kind of the steps to go through to be able to enter the parks. We also know that Universal City Walk, which is their like Disney Springs kind of version, it opened this past Friday with, from what I've read online, some pretty positive feedback from people. And then of course Disney Springs will be the first part of Disney reopening this Wednesday or Thursday?
The 20th. I think that's Wednesday.
I think that's Wednesday. Unfortunately, we will not be there for that opening, but
we live in Texas.
We can convince Dad that we should go just for the reopening of Disney Springs. But we're going to talk a little bit about all of that today and completely, totally, 100% give you our opinions on everything. It is completely opinionated vlog today. So,
and maybe some things, like we can give you guys some tips on things to be thinking about if you're trying to decide if it's the right time to go for your family when they do reopen. Just some stuff that we've heard is going to be required. We're going to include that today. Just help you guys decide.
So, okay. So, am I going first or are you going first?
Mom.
Oh, I thought that was M for me.
I told you already. That's M for Mom.
She put M for Mom, C for Caroline, but I thought she put M for me, C for Shay. So we got a little confusion. So, okay. So I'm going to go first. So, Shanghai Disney opening. I read a blog from somebody that wrote about his first-hand account of being someone that was able to go into the park on the day that it opened. So this information is coming mainly from his blog, but then also things that we know. And the main thing he said, the first thing you had to do was I don't know if they can hear the dogs freaking out in the background or not.
We can cut this out.
Is temperature checks. So that is not going to be a surprise or a shock to anybody that you're going to have to go through temperature checks. We actually went this past week and got our nails done at the local salon. Finally, they opened with special social distancing, but they checked our temperature before we could come in with one of the touchless thermometers that they just kind of aim at you and pull the trigger and it gives them a temperature reading. So temperature checks are something that you're going to be expected to adhere to, is what we're understanding going into Disney. Now, they did say that in Shanghai it was actually like a tent that you walked through and it automatically checked everybody's temperature instead of taking the time to check each individual person. So we definitely obviously can understand that there will be temperature checks. I don't know if I'm making this up. Good possibility. I'm 99% sure I read online on a thing about Disney Springs opening that anyone with 100.4 temperature or higher would not be allowed to enter, nor would anyone else in their party be allowed to enter.
You read that, but it was for Disney Springs.
Okay, so I don't know if it'll be the same for the parks, but if my family of 6 goes and they check our temperatures and Caroline has a temperature, we're not going to be able to be like, hey, Caroline, go back to the hotel, we'll meet you later. They're going to say, stop. None of you can enter, because obviously we could have been exposed if one person in our travel party. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. You're going to take a chance that you could show up. You could spike a fever while you're there, and they will know. I mean, whether it's controversial or not, there are people that go to Disney parks when they're sick. They show up there, They are healthy when they leave. By the time they get there, or even after being there a few days, they aren't feeling great. And they dose themselves full of medicine and they go to the park anyway because, by goodness, they
paid a lot of money.
They paid that money and they're going to be there. You're not going to be able to do that this time. I mean, they're going to be checking your temperature. So if you're sick, they're going to find out. And not only will you not be allowed to enter, but neither will anyone in your travel party.
So I also know that while that seems like it could cause things to take even longer to get in the parks, and if you've ever been to Disney World, you know that sometimes it can take you a good few minutes to actually get in the parks through everything. But I know with Shanghai, we read that it was actually not a slow process. It was actually very fast. They had it very efficient, which it's Disney. They're pretty good about making things efficient. So while don't let that scare you away from thinking, oh, I'm going to have to wait outside for an hour and then go to the parks. We don't think that's going to happen. Obviously, we don't know.
Yeah, so the guy said it took him 10 minutes to go through all of these checks, because also remember, limited capacities. So you're not going to have as many people trying to enter the parks at the same time. So, and that's actually something that's the next thing for you to talk about, is how they're going to control the capacity of the parks on a daily basis.
So speaking of going in the parks, something that we have read that is going to be something that has to happen, and I know Shanghai did it, is you are going to have to pre-purchase your tickets in order to go into the parks. Again, this is things we have read online. We don't work directly with Disney. We
wish we did.
We can't say, 100% that's a thing that's going to happen, but I am willing to guarantee you that is going to be something. We're annual pass holders. We already pre-purchased our tickets. Even when we're not annual pass holders, we've pre-purchased our tickets anyways, and I think it's something people should do. I think it helps you to be able to plan your vacation a little bit better. It helps you to just be able to have the tickets before you get there and have to wait in line to get your tickets and everything like that. So that's a possibility that could be something that happens. So be prepared.
And I'm curious, because we are annual pass holders, that if we will be required to go online and register somehow to say these are the days we're going into the park, so that they know how many annual pass holders are going to be coming into the park. I would think there will be some kind of registration system. And I will say, we have a large theme park. You guys know we're from Texas. We have Six Flags Over Texas close to us, and they just recently announced that they're doing this exact same pre-purchasing your ticket so they can control how many people come in. So I think this is just going to be something of the norm moving forward.
I agree.
The other thing that they're saying that they're doing I'm going to talk about this too.
I don't know what that says.
She can't read my handwriting. At Shanghai is social distancing. So that is something that a lot of people were saying was probably taking the longest amount of time for them to figure out, as far as getting Disney World ready to reopen, would be how we're going to social distance. You guys know when you get in those lines for those rides, they cram you in there like sardines. They're not going to be able to do that anymore. I did not read how they're doing it in Shanghai, but everywhere we've been, I mean, we haven't been to any amusement parks, but going to stores and things like that, usually there's markings on the floor. So I'm going to assume they're kind of going to have that same thing. They're going to need to sanitize ride vehicles between every person that gets on it, so that'll probably slow that process down a little bit. So I'm thinking that the process again to get on the rides might take a little bit longer. However, you're funneling less people through because they're limiting the number of people in the park. That I don't know that it's actually going to be any longer than when you wait in line for a regular. And I almost wonder if they're going to go to those of you that used to go to Disney years ago, and I think Disneyland still has it, the Fast Pass system where you use the tickets and you get them when you go in. I almost wonder if they're going to go to some kind of Fast Pass system for every ride versus just 3 to control the number of people coming through a line at a time. But again, that's just a speculation on my part. That says mask.
Oh.
So do you want me to talk about that? Okay, obviously, masks. I don't even have my mask in front of me.
Yeah, we don't have it.
I think it's in my car. I kind of keep it in my car, so I always have it with me. Masks. That is probably the most polarizing thing that people talk about. Here's the deal. In Shanghai, they're going to require you to they required you to wear a mask over your face the whole time you were there. I would venture to say you're going to have the same expectation. I'm pretty sure they're requiring at City Walk and Universal, and I think they're going to require it at Disney Springs, they stated.
I don't know.
You feel how you feel about a mask, but the fact of the matter is, if they tell you it's a requirement to wear it, then you have to wear it. Yes, it is your American right to say, I'm not going to wear it, but guess what? It's their American right to say, that's fine. Please leave our park.
Yeah.
So, moving forward, I think everybody just kind of has to plan that you're probably going to have to wear face covering of some kind. When all this first happened, you couldn't find them anywhere. You can find them everywhere now. You can find quick tutorials to make no-sew ones, to make sewing ones, to purchase them, the disposable and the regular. We have both disposable and regular ones. We prefer the disposable ones.
I do, yeah.
Personally, but we'll probably take the regular ones when we go to Disney just because there is going to be, obviously you're going to have to take it off to eat and drink. So I kind of feel like that would be easiest. Personal advice. I last weekend had to wear a mask for an extended amount of time for something that came up, and it does hurt your ears. Okay, I used to think like, I don't know what people are talking about. It doesn't hurt my ears that bad, but I was going to Walmart for like 15 minutes to get groceries. So I definitely recommend get some ear savers. I'm actually in the process of learning to make some myself crocheting. If you know anything about crocheting, it's super easy to make them yourself. But if you're going to be going to the parks and wearing masks, I think we would recommend that. And yeah, guys, it's going to be hot.
It's gonna be really
and
hot.
It's going to be not fun wearing a mask, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think we're going to just need to move forward, assuming that for the time being, until we, who knows how long this will last, we're going to have to wear a mask when we're on Disney property.
Yeah, so a speculation that I kind of have about how reopening is going to go is that there's not going to be any indoor shows or fireworks. Now, I've heard this from a few people. I don't know if it's true or not, but I could very well see how that could happen. For me, it's still worth it to go. We don't really watch that many indoor shows unless we go during summer where it's very, very hot. Then we do like as we've mentioned many times, we like the air conditioning and being able to cool off. But I don't think that would necessarily be a breaking point for our family not going. And the fireworks, honestly, we don't watch fireworks. That's just a preference we have. We watched them our first trip and we discovered they're just not for our family. And so we go off and ride rides during fireworks. And so that's not something that's going to worry us. But if this is your first time going to Disney, or if that's a really important part of your trip, I would just be cautious that there's a good chance that's not going to happen, because they are not doing that in Shanghai. They are not having indoor shows and they are not doing fireworks. So I think that's something we can expect in Florida and in California. So.
Yeah. And another thing that two more things that they're doing away with right now are character interactions, as far as waiting in line to get your picture made with Cinderella or whoever, and parades. Now, I have heard that at Shanghai, they have more characters out and about in the parks, so you can still see them. There's just no going up and taking a picture and all that stuff, obviously for your safety and for the character safety. Again, for our family, that's not a deal breaker. We are not character people. Our very first trip, we waited in line for 70 minutes to meet Anna and Elsa, because that was when Frozen had just come out, and we had a 7-year-old. Lily was 7 at the time, and we waited in line forever. And then we got up there and we were thinking she's gonna be so excited. She got her picture made. We walked out and she goes, "Oh, that didn't even look like Anna and Elsa." So anyways, not a thing we do for our family. Parades, if we happen upon a parade, we might stop and watch it for a few minutes, but we don't stake out seats to see any parades. Even when we go to the Halloween and the Christmas party, we don't even look and watch those special parades. So that is not something that is going to be like a deal breaker for our family with those being gone. However, it might be for your family, especially if you have young kids and they're wanting to do that meet and greet. Not sure how they're going to handle character dining. I don't know. Maybe they'll just have them walking around the restaurant. Again, total speculation on my part. Walking around the restaurant, but no one-on-one interactions. Again, we do character dining because we like the food at character dining. Because we love breakfast buffets, and most breakfast buffets on property are character. So that's the only reason we even do character dining. So again, that wouldn't be a deal breaker for our family. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Okay, so one thing we heard We don't live in Florida, obviously. We live in Texas.
But we do track I watch all of the Florida press conferences and stuff because I'm keeping up with Disney. That's the only reason why.
One thing that we heard from press conference, and if you're from Florida, I'm sure you've heard it as well.
And if we're wrong, just you know,
sorry.
This
is just something we've heard. Again, we're not like professionals. But we did hear that theme parks are able to start submitting their plans for reopening in Florida. So, you know, SeaWorld, Legoland, Disney World, Universal, they can all start submitting their plans on how they expect to reopen. They have still not given a date, obviously. Really wish they would, but they haven't yet. And so... But that is a good step. That's a good first step because that means, hey, we're thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's on our radar. You were able to start your process of wanting to reopen your park. So, that's exciting. Again, don't take that to the grave. Like, we're not, like, by any means professionals or anything like that. But that is something that we've heard. And it makes sense. I think we're at that point now where they should be able to start doing that. So that's exciting.
Yeah, and I think the most promising of everything that leads to Disney reopening is the fact that this week Disney Springs is able to reopen. May 20th, which is Wednesday, it will be reopening restaurants and retail locations. My understanding is each restaurant and each retail location makes their own decision.
Yeah.
Because they are independently owned other than the actual like Disney stores. Like they have a pin trader there and they have a gift shop.
I think they're
a big
opening.
one. And I think at first I heard they weren't opening, but I've read recently that they are, but again, I don't know if that's true. Another promising thing is when it was first announced that Disney Springs was going to be able to reopen, they were going to be opening at 25% capacity. I have heard that has been bumped up. They will now be able to open to 50% capacity, which is promising in my eyes that they're going to be allowing more people in at a time because obviously I think that the opening of Shanghai went well enough and they feel confident enough in the safeguards they have in place that they can allow more people to come in. So we told you guys we had a trip planned at the beginning of June. Obviously we have postponed that because it is not going to be open June 1st. We had a trip planned for just kind of like a quick 3-day staycation.
Just for me and her.
Just for the two of us. Third week in June. We haven't canceled that, but I think we probably will just because we're not sure. So I think we're just going to go somewhere else as a family that week. Our the other kids and dad were going to be at camp that week, and their camp I think we're going to take another family vacation, so we will vlog that. However, we have pushed out our trip to July. Mid to end of July is when we're going to be in Florida. Myself and the 3 kids, Caroline and the other 2 that do the vlog with us. So we're really crossing our fingers that we will be able to at least go and partially enjoy it because we go so often. We're, like I said, we're DVC members. We have points that are set to expire that we have got to use. We're also annual pass holders. So for us, if we go and we don't get the full experience, it's not the end of the world. We also know we'll be back. If I had never been before, and it was going to be my first experience, or maybe I only went every few years, I would probably postpone my trip till next summer just so I had a better idea of what things were going to be. But because we go so often, we feel comfortable with going, even knowing we may have a limited experience or whatever. Like we've even said ourselves, we would even be content with just doing a staycation at the hotel. If they opened the hotels and they didn't open the parks, we would be willing to do that just because we do go so often. So we're not experts.
No.
We don't work for Disney. But we have our fingers crossed. We are hoping that I think it's safe to say they're heading in the right direction as far as reopening. We just still don't have an official date. So these strictly opinion-based vlog today.
Just some speculations we have and stuff.
And I get a lot of people, not from the vlog, but like friends and stuff that will message me and be like, oh my gosh, I heard Disney's not reopening till 2021. Okay, that's not
We don't think.
We don't think that's
That's
gonna
gonna
happen. But we just kind of wanted to put out what our thoughts are on some of the things that are coming, because I think that when we first started this vlog, we were completely 100% in quarantine, and it wasn't even on the radar what we thought would happen. But I think now we're seeing some changes going in the right direction, and we wanted to kind of talk about it. So
yeah, that's just our opinions, just some things to think about if you're planning a trip.
Yeah.
But this next week we will be going on a trip. We leave on Wednesday. We are still social distancing. It's not really it's not a trip where we're in contact with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So we're just going on a little getaway as a family. So we will be vlogging that. So watch out for those vlogs next week. And we will talk to you guys later.
And it'll be our first on-the-go vlog.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited.
I'm sure there will be a lot of learning curve. So if you enjoy watching us mess up a lot, this will probably be a good one for you to watch. So anyways, we hope you guys...
We don't have Mickey
We don't
today.
have Mickey or Forky.
It's
or,
okay. It's just us.
Anything. We'll just use our hands.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed that we all get to go to Disney soon, but remain safe at the same time. So we hope you guys have a good day. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.